Hey everyone, welcome back to the Moreno Show. I hope you are feeling good today on this beautiful Monday. I just saw this video where RFK Jr. is essentially talking about spirituality and its relationship to making America healthy again. And I'm just a huge fan of this topic because I don't think anybody talks about how there is this real profound intersection between our physical health and our physical health. And I think RFK Jr. explores that conversation right now in this 2-minute clip. And I just think it's incredible. And we're going to go ahead and talk about it afterwards. But check it out. It is so good. Also, guys, I really hope this conversation finds you well. And I just hope you're having the best start of your week. Also, if you like having conversations like this, please consider liking and subscribing. It really does mean the world to me. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in.
This is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for joining us. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into the priorities on day one, you talked about prayer today in the Oval Office with all of those paintings from Reagan to Andrew Jackson to Abraham Lincoln, Washington, all around you. Why did you go to that moment?
Well, you know, I think it's relevant because we're not just in a health crisis, but we're in a spiritual crisis, and those things are connected. And you know, so many times during my campaign, traveling across the country, I sense that people are feeling disconnected. We have a whole generation of kids that feels alienated, dispossessed. They are in a existential crisis, not only because their health is, 77% of our kids can't qualify for military service. There's a purposelessness in their lives and no sense of usefulness or effectiveness or connectedness to their communities. And that drives also the chronic disease epidemic and the epidemics we're seeing of depression, of suicide, of alcoholism, of drug addiction. I think we have to address all of those things at the same time. We can't just say we're going to make you physically healthy. We have to.
That's a tall order.
Yeah, well, I think, we all have to learn that, we need to get up in the morning and not think about what am I going to do to make myself happy today. We have to get up and say, what am I going to do to make myself useful today, to be useful to my friends, to my family, to my community. And that paradoxically is ultimately the path to happiness, that connectiveness that you get from doing good things.
I remember growing up, I used to hear this actually, whenever I was in like my early young adulthood stage. So many people were like, man, I just love going to the gym. I love going to the gym because there's like this really strong kind of sense of community there. Just love seeing people and I love getting a workout with them. And I'm like, I hear this and I'm like, it sounds a lot like church because these people, they didn't go to church. They weren't really part of that community. And I'm like, I'm over here going to church, multiple times a week. I'm over here going to multiple small groups. I'm over here really engaging with all these people and just really having this really intimate tribe. And it's like, I've just never felt better. And I love it so much. And I hear these people who aren't in the church space. They're not in the faith space and they don't have a relationship with Jesus. And then that's why they value the gym so much. And I'm just thinking like, man, imagine how just unstoppable they would be if they really incorporated both of those worlds. And that's why I love what RFK Jr. is saying right now, because he is really just engaging this conversation at this intersection between, yes, our physical health matters. We got to eat right. We got to exercise and we got to do that. But there's this other conversation happening. And there's this spiritual crisis that no one seems to be talking about. Like, we got to go to church. We got to have this sense of community. We have to have this tribe. And the one thing I do like about Maha is I really do think that there's this tribe there. But let's not forget about this real spiritual aspect of it. I think it's really important. There was someone who quoted this tweet and they say, we've been dealing with a spiritual crisis for a while. The problem is spiritual people don't speak up. We say, well, that's not our problem. We're supposed to love everyone. It is now a problem. We must speak up. And I do think that in terms of culture, a lot of people were shamed for speaking up. A lot of people were like, oh man, well, like keep it to yourself. No one else wants to hear that because it was unpopular. But right now, I do think we're in the middle of a shift where people are actually saying, you know what, we actually do like going to church. Like I saw this from Cody Sanchez a while ago. She said, "Dear old people, waking up early, being married, going to church, reading books, going to bed at 10 p.m., drinking less and staying at home more is actually amazing. Sorry, I was wrong." But look at that. She said going to church. She said being married. She said drinking less. Like these are aspects that whenever you kind of enter the tribe that is the church, you just genuinely stop doing that. Like you generally just, you get married more often. You actually don't drink as much. You start incorporating these really healthy aspects of your life that don't actually, like, it's not taking anything away from you. It's actually nourishing you. And that is so important. And I'm thinking about, like me and my wife were just talking about this. We were talking about our marriage, and it's like, I love being married so much. Like, I cannot emphasize this enough, and what's so what's so strange about it is, like, in culture, it's almost like so many people were encouraging you to, like, like, not be married. It's almost like being married isn't cool. It's almost like, "Oh, no, people love, like, independence and this sort of thing," and it's like, I love being married because now it's like I have an excuse to spend essentially so much time with my best friend on the planet who I love. And it's like, why aren't more people talking about this? This is actually, it's good for us. It's good for me. And it's like, this is just net positive. There's nothing but a net positive in marriage. And I really feel that way in terms of other things that she said too, like drinking less. Show me someone who's more healthy just because they started drinking. Like, you probably can't do that. Show me someone who's less healthy just because they started going to church, or someone who's less healthy because they're reading more. Like, I just don't know if you are gonna experience that. And I'm not trying to, like, shame all these things, but I do think there's a really important conversation to be had about these other things that are also in our control. It's like, yes, we have control over whether we work out or not, but we also have control whether we step in the church or not, whether we take our family to church or not, or whether we, like, pray before our meals or not. Like all these things there are a series of choices that we choose to make, we choose to not make, that actually have an astronomical effect on how we live our lives. And I do think they matter. And I do think we should talk about it more. So another quote tweet we have here is by Long Convexity. They write, "I don't know if it's solely religion, but there's definitely lack of community in this country, and it's very unhealthy." And that's why I mentioned earlier at the beginning of this video. It's like, I that's why so many people, they love the gym because it's a communal type of experience. But that also exists inside the church, except I believe it's more intimate. Like, you don't go to the gym and then go to, like, a small group in the middle of the week where you just go a little bit deeper. But you do that inside the context of church, right? And it's just so radically important. Like, there's this quote where it's like, show me the 5 people you surround yourself with, and I'll show you your future. And it's like, so many people who aren't inside the church actually don't have that. They don't have a group of, like, 5 people who know them fairly well and are actually guiding them in some sort of direction. But what's great about, the context of church, and really just, um spirituality in general, is whenever you understand that you actually can't do this life alone, and you're actually better whenever you're more nourished with people, you're generally going in the same type of direction with people. And whenever you do that, it's like, yes, you're just running, you're going, but you're not running alone. There's actually people next to you who are going in the same direction. There's, like, my wife who's also running with me, and they're going in this spiritual and beautiful direction that's amazing. And I also have my friend who's a pastor who's also running with his wife, and they're changing the world through the local church, and it's just really fascinating. And then I have my other friend who's also, a pastor and a communicator, who's going ahead and changing lives in Africa, and it's like so many amazing things. And it's like, I'm not able to discover that if it wasn't inside the context of church. So
Robert F. Kennedy.
I do think there's an aspect of this that I really want us to be talking about more. It's like, yes, we gotta take care of ourselves physically, but we can't forget that our spiritual health is so significant too. And like RFK Jr. said, they are one and the same almost, right? Because our spiritual health does have an effect on us physically. So anyways, that's the really brief conversation that I wanted to have with you guys today. But let me know what you thought about this. Let me know if you agree with me. Let me know if you disagree with me. I welcome all perspectives, and I really think that more perspectives make us better. So let me know in the comment section, and I will see you all next time. I really hope this conversation finds you well, and I just hope you have the best like Monday or whenever you watch this. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Episode's over already? Geez, that was fast. Well, they say beautiful things do not last forever, but feel free to watch and listen to another one of these episodes if you're interested in those conversations as well. Also, this next part is huge. Make sure to obliterate that like and subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never skip a beat. I also have a newsletter where we dive into the news, politics, and ideas that shape our future. If you're interested in signing up, I'd really appreciate that. Anyways, that's the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you next time.